Hey guys,
Hi guys.
we're just here. I know we talked about this subject a lot, but it's just really getting out of hand. And the way times are, a lot of people, we really have to save our coins. With groceries, the way the prices are of groceries steadily rising and all that.
Gas,
Gas,
medical costs.
gas, just all your bills.
Yeah.
It's tough out here. Some people working multiple jobs to make ends meet. Um but back to the topic, the internet panhandling. It's really gotten out of control,
hmm
and Christy and I, we're going to talk about it again. And some people that may come across this may get annoyed, they may roll their eyes, but we don't care. We're going to talk about it again because it needs to be discussed. We don't care about clout and views, but if you do come across this and you feel strongly about how we feel, please share because this needs to get out there. We don't want people to get scammed.
Yeah, because people now in this nerd space, they've kind of taken this whole begging thing and also just the fact of, community and unfortunately weaponizing it and using it to their benefit. Like taking advantage of people's kindness with these tired sob stories on here. They can't afford groceries, they can't afford to pay their rent, they can't afford to pay their car note. But then, weeks, days later, or maybe for months on end, you see them going back to back to different conventions and things like that, or just out and about, like traveling. And I mean, I'm just gonna be real, like travel is not cheap.
No, it's not.
And everything has gone up. And especially, when the government shutdown and things like that happened, there were less TSA officers to check for luggage and things like that. And so of course the cost of your tickets and things like that went up,
Mm-hmm.
because there are less people, manpower and things like that to operate the airports.
Right.
But here it is. You have these people that are living their life like they have no obligations and things like that, and then only to come on there weeks later after they've gone and had their fun, they blew their money or whatever happened, and they can't afford to pay their rent.
Yeah, we just want people to be wise out here
Yeah,
because I'm not saying that you shouldn't give, but you have to have discernment
and
and
wisdom.
wisdom, please, because we've witnessed it so many times on IG
hmm
specifically. We've seen people, around the same time of the year, they do a post talking about, they need income to be able to stay in their homes. But like Christy was saying, they're constantly going to conventions, and sometimes they're making these posts while they're at a convention saying that they're in dire straits. So I'm just like, guys, please be smart. Christy's laughing. It's true. We've really witnessed that. You know, like I said, they post around the same time of year saying they need help, but they're at a convention posting, their time at the con. It's just like, guys, you have to use your wisdom. You know, what's going on here? You have to ask that. They're saying that they need this to, for groceries or the car payment, for their rent, whatever, but they're at a con. Now, wouldn't that make sense that the money that they're going to these conventions, wouldn't that make sense for them to use that for their rent and their bills and all that?
And I mean, meanwhile, you're being wise with your
Right.
resources. You're being an adult, you're going to work every day. And heck, you may not even like your job, but you know that you
Yeah.
have bills and obligations to pay. And so, and even now with the economy that we're in, everybody is, being a little bit more frugal with their money.
Right.
Outings that we normally would probably take like every payday or every weekend or every other weekend, we're pulling back on that spending. And it's because, we have other things that take more precedence or priority.
Yeah.
Such as having a roof over your head. That's kind of important. It totally negates the fact of having a blast at a con, but then within a few weeks you're risking being evicted.
And then you're trying to make it everybody else's problem because.
And oh, sorry, this is one other thing. I'm sorry, I mean to interrupt. And guys, really do your research. Like when you're deciding to possibly help somebody out and to take from your family, your household, food off of your table, because that's what it is, and money from to pay your bills and things. Look at their timeline, their timestamp on their platform, their page or whatever platform that they're posting on asking for money. And just look over the past couple of weeks and even like a month, what kind of activities were they doing? It wasn't a concern to them like a month ago, 2 months ago. And I'm just going to put y'all on game because I used to work in that industry, property management. But whenever an eviction goes out, it takes about a month or two for that to process. So they've been sitting on that notice for that amount of time. And in the midst of that, they've been going to conventions and living their life. If it wasn't a concern to them then, it shouldn't be a concern to you now. And I would also ask to see the notice.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, anybody can say that they're at risk of, being evicted. I'm like, look, I need to see the notice. Sorry. I need receipts.
Exactly. So we just want you guys to be wise because it's a lot of people on these internet streets scamming people, and it's not right. Don't give your hard-earned money to someone that's too lazy to get a job and they're expecting everyone else to take care of them while they go live their life in the sun, going to conventions practically every month while you're slaving away at a job that you may not even like, and some of you guys may not even ever been to a convention before,
but you've paid their way several times to all these cons that they're going to.
Right.
So yeah,
please please wise up, guys. Like I said, we talked about this topic numerous times because we're passionate about it. I don't like to see, Christy doesn't either, I don't like to see people get taken advantage of. So that's why we talk about it a lot. And again, please like and share this video because it needs to get out here so people can know what the heck is going on. Yeah, that's all I have to say. I don't know if you wanted to add anything else, Christy.
Yeah, I do actually want to add something else. Because there's people in the community that we do know about. We're not going to name them, but we know.
Right.
A lot of us know. And I'm just like this, guys, we got to warn our friends.
Yeah.
If they're possibly discussing with you about giving money to these people, we ain't got to put them out on Front Street, but just say, look, this person is habitually doing this sort of thing. Go look at their numerous GoFundMes, and just their posts on their platforms or whatever that they use.
Right.
This is a habitual thing. And, I'm not trying to tell you what to do, friend, but I don't think it's wise that you give to them. They're an adult, let them figure it out.
Yeah, because I'm just saying, like, someone, if they're really in dire straits, I don't think that they're going to be on social media posting daily. And then, like I said, going to conventions all the time, living it up. They're not going to be having time to be doing that. They're going to be pounding the pavement.
Yeah, trying to figure it out.
Right.
And the other thing too, that you have to ask yourself, okay, like they have family, but why haven't they gone to their family first to ask?
Right.
Maybe the problem is that they have already burned those bridges with family members. Family members have already been like, look,
right,
you've done too much. I've given you this X amount of dollars so many times and you haven't paid me back.
Mm-hmm.
And so now they have turned to the internet.
Yep.
And it's like, guys, we gotta be more wise.
We do.
With our resources and who it is that we choose to help.
Yeah.
And I know that, it's a lot of good hearted people out here and they don't mean any harm and they genuinely want to help people. But the best way that you could probably help them, refer them to their local social services office. That's what you can do. because they have a lot of resources there to help them. There's also resources to help, like with paying rent. Now, there's a limit, I think, as far as how much that, they will pay on that, but, it's better than nothing.
Right.
And if that person is genuinely in dire straits, they will be appreciative of the assistance or the resources that you provided them, and they'll go and pursue that.
Right. And also, I forgot, I know we said we're going to end it. For the individuals that are guilty of this behavior, and you may know them and you've known them for some time and you know what they're doing, if you say you're their friend, be upfront. A real friend, is real with their friends and lets them
They're
know
gonna
when.
call them out.
Yeah, they're gonna call them out. They're gonna
To
let
their
them know
face.
when they're wrong.
To their face.
To their face, yes. And you need to, for the people doing this, and like I said, you're friends with people that are guilty of this. To their face, let them know, like, hey girl, hey guy, hey man, hey bro, what's going on? Like, you've been doing these posts begging for money. It's a pattern. Like, what's going on here? But then you're at a convention, like the math ain't math, and like, come on now. But yeah, and then also last thing, cosplay conventions, they're fun, we love them, but they're not a necessity.
They're not a priority.
Priority, yes.
What is having a roof over your head, food, and gas in your car.
Right.
And lastly, clothing to cover your behind. Now, of course, we don't have to have the latest gear or even name brand stuff, but as long as it's clean,
yep,
and it serves its purpose, it covers your body,
yeah,
that's all that matters. And there's nothing wrong with going to places like Walmart. Heck, and I mean, even like places like City Trends, they have pretty cute, trendy stuff, and you're not gonna go broke trying to, to clothe yourself shopping at places like that.
Right.
So, now in this day and age, people gotta get off their high horses, and we just gotta be a little bit more smarter with our income.
Right. And if it means to sit back on some conventions you're not able to go, that's what it is. That's what adulting is. And also, there are conventions that are free.
They're in your area, local.
There are some that are in your area that are local that are like $20 and under. So you can still get your con fix and things like that, but do it on a budget. So yeah, and if you must go to conventions that are further away and you want to get this latest cosplay, whatever, do some gig jobs, DoorDash, Instacart. It's a lot of gig jobs that you could do to make extra money.
Yeah, roadie.
It's a lot, so it's like, let's just be real. Everyone has a smartphone. You could look these things up on your own. But yeah, that's...
And, sorry, just one other thing finally, and I'm done. But rather than sitting on the internet for hours on end every day begging for money, you could be utilizing what you already have, and such as access to the internet, and putting in some applications.
Yep.
I mean, obviously you don't have enough income to accomplish what you want, so you need to get another job, or you need to maybe get a roommate,
right?
Or if you already have a job, maybe see if they are offering overtime or something like that. But we gotta be a little bit more innovative with how we're increasing our resources, or just making the most of the income that we already have. And we can't sit here on the internet poorly utilizing our time playing on the internet when we could be making some money to take care of expenses and responsibilities that we have, and stop relying on other people to bail us out of our problems.
Right.
So
that's all we gotta say on that. So guys, we just want y'all to be aware. Don't be a simp and fall for these scammers.
That's right. Keep your money in your pockets, because it's hard out here for a pimp.
And that is all. We are done. Goodbye.
Love y'all.
Love y'all. Stay safe.